Good morning. Guten Morgen. Can you hear the words that are coming out of my face hole right now? No, nobody can. That's fine. We will drink coffee. April Quinn, 5x5. We're up. What's up, Bergie? Cool. What's up, Dan? Kofeve. 25 November 2024, Bear Independent Brief. We're going to talk about some minor things today. The largest cyber attack by China in U.S. history, targeting specifically the Department of Defense and our federal government. No big deal. Let's see. The United States possibly helped create COVID-19. Now, listen, some of us have been saying this for years. Others are just reporting on it today. And then what else do we have in the news? Oh, Musk and Ramaswamy and the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Sound good? Sounds good, Bear. Awesome. You guys know the drill. Subscribe, ring the little bell icon, do all the YouTube things, comment for the YouTube algorithmic robots. If you want to be subscribed, make sure you are subscribed, because YouTube unsubscribes people every day. So make sure that that wasn't you since last time you were here. And if you're listening on the podcast, because this is also in podcast form, I appreciate you. Thank you for passively consuming while you're driving down the highway trying to put your makeup on and eat a donut all at the same time. Don't do that. Don't do that. Pay attention. Whoa, I hit the tripod. Pay attention. Best information, worst production value. You're welcome. That's what we're known for around here. Show is brought to you by Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God. You might not believe in him, but he believes in you. So maybe un-F yourself, humble yourself, cry out to the Creator, ask for some help, and get your life out of the gutter. It's also brought to you by refugemedical.com. We make the best first aid kits on planet Earth, period. The end. Simple as that. We make them right here in America. There's people on the other side of this black curtain making them right now. We're actually pretty excited because it's the week of Thanksgiving here, which means all the children are out of school. So we've developed our own Temu-style sweatshop right now. This place is filled with children. They've got these nimble little fingers over there stitching bear facts together for 4 cents an hour. It's going to be awesome. Got my Black Friday refuge deal, says Dan. Awesome. Oh yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But I got to be able to afford all the rice that we have to force feed these children so they can work their 25-hour shift. So if you want to help buy a sack of rice for the new Temu employees, you can visit refugemedical.com. Cool. And of course, the fine people over on Patreon, patreon.com, search for Bear Independent, or there's a link in the description, the economic engine of the Bear Nation. Okay, Bear. Awesome. Good talk, guys. The China-linked hack that was reported earlier this month may be the, quote, worst telecom hack in our nation's history by far, end quote. According to the chairman of Senate Intelligence Committee, the surveillance data that was compromised was supposed to be just for American law enforcement agencies, but China-linked hackers intercepted it. Now, here's what it appeared. This tripod. Hold on, we're doing it. We're doing it live. Must be Monday. There we go. Lauren is over there eating her fingernails in fear for her employment. True or not true?
I mean...
Yeah, it's true. I can't even see you, and I know what you're doing over there. All right. Now, let's be honest. Lauren is on the Refuge media team, not the Bear Independent media team. But Bear Independent owns Refuge. So where's the line? I don't know. She reports to Britt, not to me. But I digress. So these Chinese hackers, what they did... we believe what they did was they hacked into Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, everybody else. And they sat there and they watched the traffic data, hoovered up the traffic data, or the traffic of the data, for 6 months or more. And not only did they get all that just gross macro data, they also got, very specifically, they were looking for when what we would call wiretap requests, surveillance requests would come in from the Department of Justice to these carriers, the cell phone providers, so that they could not only piggyback on those, but mimic them. And then China, the nation state of China, started submitting their own BS wiretap requests as if they were the Department of Justice, to which these telecom companies just immediately acquiesced and started giving away data, wiretap style, to the Chinese Communist Party. For such notable people as a guy you might have heard of, Donald J. Trump, and Kamala Harris, and a whole bunch of people in Washington, and the Department of Defense, and the Pentagon, and just gross. Just you gotta give them credit. They did it, but it's nasty, nasty, nasty. So we have posited previously that all these people in positions of power are compromised by China anyway. Well, now they actually are. Now they actually are. Shall we continue with the brief? By piggybacking off of American surveillance, these hackers were able to compromise the networks of, quote, multiple telecommunications companies, end quote. And they used it to obtain call records and communications from a, quote, limited number of individuals, limited, only tens of thousands, limited. It wasn't hundreds of millions of Americans. It was multiple, limited, tens of thousands of very targeted individuals. Limited. Where did we go? Limited number of individuals who are primarily involved in government or political activity, end quote. Yeah. Yep. They separated all the wheat from the chaff. Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, why would they do this? Why would they do this? Well, they know where these people are going to be, who they hang out with, what their pattern of life is, where they're going. They have the geolocation data off those telephones. They know which networks those phones connect to, which also provides a map for exploitation. You could do low-level scams like PayPal spoofing and stuff like that, for sure. Key loggers, get people's passwords, so you can do all that. Or decapitation strike anybody. We know where all the important people are going to be, who they talk to, who are the movers and shakers below the threshold of discovery, right? You start mapping all that data. Where do all these circles of influence overlap? There's a person over here. How interesting. And couple that with something like, I don't know, Stuxnet, where we take down the grid, and then the power stops working, so Intel stops working because Como stopped working, and then also water and sewer stops working, and transportation stops working because the fuel pumps don't work. Sounds super interesting, and maybe there just happen to be 4,000 terror cells in the United States of America that have been coming across our porous southern border. There's, anywhere between 400,000 and 1.2 million military-aged males, which are surprisingly being equipped and trained by Russia, who's BFFs with China. Maybe you pass those target packages to them. What a thought. Now, I don't want to get too conspiracy, too tinfoil here, but it just illustrates the level of asymmetric retaliation that China could have against us, okay? But it makes a man go, I wonder why. Now, I can tell you this, when targeting bad guys, yeah, having their cell phones, big deal, big deal. You might have heard of SSE, sensitive site exploitation. Maybe that's a phrase you're familiar with out there in the world from a previous life. Okay, so you got the cell phone data of the top 10,000, 20,000 movers and shakers politically and militarily in the United States of America, and you're our biggest foe on the world stage? I'm just saying, it could get super spicy out there, boys and girls. Super spicy. It is reported that the Chinese hackers specifically targeted the phones of then candidates Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, as well as other senior political figures. Liu Pengyul is the spokesperson for China's embassy in Washington and was tasked with disseminating this gem in a statement last Friday. Quote, China firmly opposes and combats all kinds of cyber attacks, end quote. Do they? Probably against China. China is firmly against cyber attacks, against the greater China. But not against you. They're all for cyber attacks against you. Last Friday, senior White House officials met to discuss China's, quote, significant cyber espionage campaign targeting the telecommunications sector, end quote. By significant, we estimate, the big we, the royal we again, there's approximately 600,000 Chinese national hackers. 600,000. 0.6 million. Quantity has a quality all of its own. We don't have near that many people. We don't have a tenth of that many people working to try and combat that. Okay? Team Crunchy here, hitting all the thumbs. Thank you, Savage Hunter. Good for you. Way to be a reputable American and eat crunchy peanut butter like a man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Specifically, one of the goals of the meeting was to hear from telecommunications sector executives on how the U.S. government can partner with and support the private sector in hardening against sophisticated nation-state attacks, end quote. Now, said a White House statement. Now, here's the thing we should talk about. Since the 50s, Cold War, you might remember the Bell system and then AT&T. These telecommunications giants are inexorably intertwined with the United States government. They are inseparable. And it kind of began with continuity of government. We need a way for, Cheyenne Mountain to communicate with DC and the Greenbrier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, telecom, microwave, and at the time, copper wires, and then you get into ARPA, then DARPA, which developed the first remnants of the internet, basically moving information in packets, all of which is on the back of AT&T, or what is now AT&T. AT&T owns 80+% of the telecommunications transmission infrastructure in the United States of America, a lot of which is fiber. Right, so it doesn't matter, like I have a Verizon cell phone. Well, the Verizon tower connects probably into an AT&T fiber line that runs underneath the ground. AT&T and the NSA, for example, no such agency, they're very buddy-buddy. They so buddy-buddy, they co-locate their efforts in the same building. Oh, you're looking for the NSA? They're on floor 3. You're looking for AT&T? They're on floor 4. Right? They are super interconnected. So the idea that the federal government has to go to these telecommunications giants so that they can put their heads together and figure out what to do about this. Their heads have been together. They've been a multi-headed hydra for 70 years. Yeah, it's not like they have to figure out how to get a hold of one another, is my point. But of course, they can't say the quiet part out loud. So of course, the White House is not going to come out and say, "Hey, listen, we've been doing business with AT&T for 70 years. We're already working on it, and by we're working on it, we're waiting on them to tell us what we should do about it." One top American cybersecurity official said the Chinese hackers are positioning themselves in U.S. critical infrastructure, IT networks, in preparation for a potential major conflict with the United States. Wow, no shit, really? They would do that? Yeah, they would do that. You hear all the time about thank you, Spartan, for the $5 hairs. Why, hello, Tato. You hear all the time, like, what would happen if Russia nuked the United States of America? You don't nuke something you want to occupy, okay? You nuke something you want to deny to the enemy. Generally speaking, at least this is all the doctrine and theory, because minus Sodom and Gomorrah, nukes have been used twice that we know of, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay? So everything else is just theory. It's just doctrine that's never actually been played out. Deterrence doctrine and mutually assured destruction and first strike, counter strike, decapitation strike, nuclear triad, all of that. It's all theory. But we can look to places like Chernobyl. You probably don't want to live in Chernobyl. So if you were to just nuke the United States of America, yes, there'd be massive casualties. But no one can live there. No one can grow crops there. No one can drink the water. Well, the United States is blessed. We are replete with a massive amount of natural resources, huge amounts of natural resources, which if the air quote leadership in DC would pull their heads out of their bums, we would be exploiting to their fullest, so we could be energy independent. But I digress. Well, if you're Russia, if you're China, China owns 38% of American farmland, don't really want to deal with nuclear fallout. Nuking the place is probably a bad idea. Well, what do nukes accomplish? Massive amount of casualties and demoralization, but they also trigger a nuclear response. That goes back to the nuclear triad, mutually assured destruction, all that stuff. You don't want submarines coming up out of the water in all 7 of the oceans, the great seas, and launching Tomahawk cruise missiles. MIRVs. Russia's all like, we have MIRVs. Multiple whatever re-entry vehicles. And so, you hit 14 targets or 28 targets with each Tomahawk cruise missile. Okay, cool. We've been doing that for 20 years. Russia's like, yes, well, how new MIRV missile we shoot from Moscow, 770 miles, hit the Ukraine. Okay, that's super. Wow. That was old when I was a child. So, anyway, why would you nuke the United States of America? Just turn the lights off. Well, they could use a high altitude EMP bear. They could. But in order to produce that, we're still looking at a potential nuclear response, right? Under the mutually assured destruction or deterrence doctrines. That's it. You explode a nuclear bomb in the air, it's still a nuclear bomb. Or, what's the point here? Or, you compromise all the infrastructure, you turn the lights off, and you wait a year per the DOE and the CDC. 90% of Americans are dead within a year. Remember that report? Those missiles are not catchable, though. Well, if you're Kyiv catches a lot of them. It's a problem. So, define catchable. My point is, you can avoid all of that just by hitting a button and turning the grid off. Well, the United States Department of Defense infrastructure has been hardened against EMPs, and they've got their own backbone and all. Yep, they do. What are they going to exist to rule and defend?
Yes.
It's a huge problem with continuity of government. Existential problem for continuity of government from jump since the Cold War. Okay, the government survived. What are they going to govern now? There's nothing to govern. Good morning.
Good morning.
There's no people left to govern. There's no industry to govern. There's nothing left.
We have
I think it was Curtis LeMay that famously said, as long as there's 2 Americans and 1 Russian left after World War III, we win. Define win. So, repeating back to the brief. Earlier this year, U.S. officials said that in the event of a conflict, China-linked hackers can carry out disruptive attacks using the compromised IT networks, such as manipulating heat and air systems in server rooms or disrupting critical energy and water controls. That'd be fine. It'd be fine, right? A thought occurs to me. If you're interested in this piece of content, you let me know. For many people, the observance of religious holidays is coming up. It's that season. And there's a lot of air quote content creators making videos right now about like 10 gifts you need to give this season or whatever. If you would like a video from me about that, maybe like 5 things you should buy your non-prepper friends and family, like sneak it in there so that they have a thing in case they need it. That's my line of thought. You let me know. If you're into that, let me know in the comments. Yes, I'd love to see that video. Gift video, thumbs up is what I need to know. Or no, you're not interested. Cool, in which case I won't make that piece of content because what a waste of time, right? So you guys and girls, let me know. Rick says yes. JC says yes. The One Toe Cutter says yes. Keely, yes. Yep, all right. Okay. Cool. Yes. All right. Very interested, Bear, do the video. What's up, Doug? Good morning, Sarah. Tato, yes. All right, okay. Got it. Let me make a note. Do you always have a pen with you? You should always have a pen with you. Very important. Okay. Do. Gift. Video. 2024. Holiday. Season. Got it. Note made. All right. A more recent assessment from the Environmental Protection Agency's Office of the Inspector General has determined that there's an urgent need for cyber remediation because there are critical cyber vulnerabilities found in many water utilities. Do you see, for those that have ears to hear here, do you have a way to get water that doesn't include just turning the faucet on? Now, if you've been doing this for a hot minute, it's still turning the faucet on because your IBC totes or your well water or your whatever is all plumbed in. Cool. But just like, map recon, where's the water in my area? And do you have a way to make it safe to drink? This is one of the things we're going through in North Carolina right now. Yeah, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Dig a hole. Depends where you are, Mama of Texas. Depends on where you are. Dig a hole method doesn't work for everybody. Now, where I live, the water table's about a foot below the ground. Dig a hole works, okay? But also environmental considerations for where I live. There's a lot of cattle where I live. You don't want to be downstream in cattle operations because that water's flowing through cow poop and then you're drinking it. You need a way to filter it, a way to treat it, whether that's iodine or bleach tablets or Berkey filters or MSR or Sawyer or whatever. So for those that have ears to hear, we're talking about backup generation and water here. Over 1,000 drinking water systems serving 193 million people were assessed, and 9% of those had cybersecurity vulnerabilities categorized as high to critical. To be precise, 97 systems landed within those categories. In addition, there were 211 water utilities that were categorized as medium or low risk. And to be put in this category, they can have externally visible open portals. Externally visible open portals. Nicole Evans, the acting assistant inspector general for the EPA, wrote in a memo that, quote, this critical infrastructure sector faces various threats from cyber attack, theft, vandalism, and other risks that can affect public health and health. Sorry, I went Tyson there for a minute. Public health, and leave communities vulnerable to the loss of clean water. This challenge is not hypothetical. Recent high-profile incidents at water systems have demonstrated the urgency needed to address cybersecurity weaknesses and vulnerabilities to physical attacks. In other words, you can't trust the water, whether RFK takes the fluoride out of it or not. Immediately after 9/11, there was, I forget the name of the agency, but in New York, the people that guarded the reservoirs, the water supply for New York City and other areas, but primarily New York City. These guys went from Barney Fife with bad fitting uniforms and 38 special revolvers to like plate carriers, helmets, ARs, armored trucks, the whole nine. And one of the specific threats, because I knew one of these guys that they were concerned about, was somebody putting anthrax or chemical warfare in the water. And it's a big deal. Like, it's still a big deal. And this is 20 years ago, 23 years ago. It's a big deal. So we take for granted as Americans, we take for granted how good we have it. We just turn the faucet and water, air cooled clean water comes out. You grab a bottle of water and it's good to go. Dude, these bottles of water, most of them are from public water sources, a lot of which are interestingly in New Jersey. What's up with that? Have you ever been to New Jersey? The petrochemical state? Come on. But this is basically in a lot of places tap water. So if you hit the public water supply with some nasty bug and billions of bottles of water were filled with that infected water supply and then distributed across the country or the region, at a minimum, think about the economic impact. Maybe it's only 1 in 10 people. Well, that's still what, 10 to 100 times more deadly than COVID was? Think about that. It's bad news. So, sorry, hopped into a prepper rabbit hole. You got to have your water squared away, okay? Okay, fair. Again, This was a sample of 1,000 water systems, and there are 152,000 public drinking water systems in the United States, according to CISA, I don't know, Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency. This means that if the data is extrapolated across the whole of the country, then there are 14,744 water systems that could be in the high to critical risk categories. Unfortunately, this shouldn't be surprising considering that most U.S. water utilities are independently operated, and lack of funding and expertise easily leads to substandard technology and cybersecurity protocols. Now, I'll just give you a little example here. The guys that run the rural water district here where I live, they're good guys. Like they're just good God-fearing, deer-shooting, beer-drinking dudes. It's great. I know more about putting in water lines than they do, and I'm no expert. And this is not hyperbole. I've just dug more trenches than they have because of my very interesting background. Done 1,500 miles of trench, maybe somewhere in there, maybe more. I don't know. I know this Sarita Gulf Wind, Sarita, Texas, Phase 1 had 183 miles of trench just on that one job. That one job had 183 miles of trench on it. That's pretty good at digging trench. Okay, cool. Interconnecting water line. It's not rocket science, but they're literally thinking about nuts and bolts, heavy equipment. Dig a trench, put the pipe in the trench, interconnect the pipe, hook it up, good to go. Okay, but where's the water coming from? It's up there at a high point in the topography in a tower. Who guards the tower? Well, it's behind a chain link fence. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna give bad guys ideas, but it ain't that hard, is my point. So, water. You tracking? Water. All right. Lauren! Where'd she go? Should we go look for them? Let's go look for them. Let's go real quick. We'll have a brief interlude before we talk about the CDC and COVID-19. You guys good with that? Oh, well, you're back now. It's fine. We're going for a walk. I already committed to going for a walk.
Sorry, I had to go to...
You had to pee?
Yes.
Happens to the best of us. All right, tell them what are we doing for... Tell them what we're doing. What's the current promo? Why are you so little? So little. Here, that's better.
Okay. All right, we have a couple things going on. We have our Black Friday sale going on, so make sure to check it out. It's on the Black Friday sale tab on the website.
Good job.
We also have, it's the last week that you can do this. It's like your last chance.
Who is we?
You guys.
No,
We're Refuge. Yeah.
Refuge
Okay.
what?
Medical and training.
Dot what?
Corn.
Oh my gosh. RefugeMedical.com. Please continue.
Okay. And then the vacuum seal kits get you entered in to win the last golden ticket. This is your last shot to get it. It's a free training in 2025 of your choice. Guys, this is a value of up to like $1,400. Okay? Seriously. This is huge.
Times
huge.
5?
Yeah, 5 people are getting to do that. You didn't think about that, did you?
I am paying for that. Look at these eyebrows.
Pretty
Oh my
sure
gosh.
They are pretty, those are some Jack Black eyebrows right there.
Continue.
Anyways, also the last thing we have going on right now, I know it's a lot, is the like, share, tag, and follow. Guys.
On the socials.
On Facebook and Instagram, every week, the person who shares our content the most, whoever number 1 is, gets $100. Second place gets 30, third place gets 20. You cannot win 2 weeks in a row, okay? Because otherwise, certain people, Jake, would be like,
we gotta go to the 12C's house and beat them up.
Taking us
Coming
for everything
for you,
we've got.
12C.
So make sure you guys share our content, follow us, like the content. Yes, I'm short.
No,
we know.
Continue. What
Now
were
we
we
look like we're the same height. So anyways, that's what we have going on, guys. Much better. The Black Friday sale will end after this weekend, and some stuff's already getting sold out. So don't sleep on it. Like, run.
Nice.
Walk.
I like your run. Robot.
Yeah.
It looked like a robot run. All right, we're gonna go over here real quick. And wise. You wanna say good morning?
I can.
You wanna say good morning?
Busy emailing people back. Good morning. Everyone who's hit the admin at our inbox this week. and is
Oh.
getting all their responses.
Awesome.
So,
Good job. Good job. All right. We're rolling gloves over here. Band-Aids. You want to say what's up?
What's up?
Band-Aid station. What are you doing?
Packing kiddos.
Packing kiddos. Good job. Good job. Good job. I see we Stomps. Stomps.
Stomps.
Say hi.
What up, Bear Nation? How you doing?
Stomps, Fo, you want to say what's up? What's up? We're gonna stomp here. Got more orders going out here. Somebody's getting hooked up. 1, 2, 3 stomps over here. I see some bare minimums, an adventure kit, Sam Splint. Sam Splint. Who got that? Oh, that's the junctional tourniquet. Who did that? Jerome Young. Good job, Jerome. Bleeding prevention kits. These get mounted on your wall at your school, your church, or whatever. That's awesome. Bleeding prevention kits, crash kit going out, APLS blankets. These are awesome. These are really, really, really good right here. APLS blankets. This is basically like nylon sill tarp coated with a mylar blanket. So weather layer, the whole nine. You doing gauze?
I'm doing gauze.
You want to say hi to the gauze for the what?
Wound care bucket.
Awesome. Good job. Where do we work? What's the name of this company?
Refuge Reticle.
Nephews.reticle.corn.
Refuge Medical.
Nephews.reticle.corn. If you go there, you'll find nothing. There's nothing there. Oh, whoop. You guys want to see something really cool? Look at this. Look at that. I'm about to show them you, Terry. Look at that. Yeah. Boom. Waiting for one more China symbol to come in. What are you working on?
I was working on gloves.
You're working on gloves too?
Yeah.
Good job. Oh yeah, well this is pretty evident right here.
Want some more coolness?
What?
Check out the holiday candy.
What is going on here? Okay.
Ooh, we got peanut butter something or another. Oreo balls.
Uh-huh.
Those are amazing.
Uh-huh.
Brenda, what? Turtles.
Turtles.
And these are peanut butter what?
The crackers?
Yeah.
Those are rich crackers with peanut butter in them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And then pretzels.
Approved.
Yes.
I like that this is what we're doing in the show shop. All right.
Hey, we got to have energy to go. This is our
20 more.
Yep.
What are those, Terry?
Plate carrier parts.
Plate carrier parts.
Yeah, buddy. Gotta make sure they cut the right amount.
Tell all the people out there you're sewing plate carriers.
Sewing plate carrier.
Thank you.
And he's got to make sure he
We're on the move.
And he got to make sure he counts it right too.
Yeah. Mouse, you want to say what's up?
What's up?
What are you doing?
I'm cutting all the pieces so they can make plate carriers.
Awesome. Awesome. And the ladies are over here. Say hi, everybody.
Hi,
They're working on ankle kits. Only 4 of them are left-handed ankle kits, so it's okay.
Only 3.
Only 3. So if you're a left-handed ankle person out there, they got you. Hey, that peanut butter thing is awesome. Thank you. All right. There's a little update from the shop. Talk about. Let's go into shipping real quick. Let's go ambush shipping real quick.
Okay.
Sound good? Sound good.
Okay.
Doc, you want to say what's up?
What's up, Doc?
Are we shipping stuff?
We're receiving stuff right now.
Well, we're receiving stuff. Cool.
So we can ship stuff.
So we can ship stuff. And this is, you should screenshot that. Yeah, that's Doc's core values. Refuge Medical core values turned into a prayer. Amazing. In fact, all right. Look at what a good job he did with this. Dear Heavenly Father, please allow me to be humble and kind in my words and my action. Help me to remember that with you, I can make it happen. Allow my stewardship of your blessings and gifts to be above reproach. Remind me that my loyalty lies with you and not in man or this world. Guide me and teach me to lead by example, to be disciplined, and to take responsibility for my actions and thoughts. Heavenly Father, I ask that you teach me how to communicate better and show me how to build relationships, not only with you, but with the people around me. Allow me to always be learning, lest my mind stagnate. Let me be selfless, to be the person you need me to be and not quick to anger. I thank you for your love and your grace. I believe all things are possible as long as I keep my face turned towards you. Amen. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. You did a good job. No, there's no snacks on the website. We're not as cool as SOE yet. You can't buy gummy bears from us yet. By the way, SOE, promo code BILL2. They're doing a sale right now, which is incredibly rare. SOE doesn't do that. And so a guy named Bill pissed him off. And if you go to Special Operations Equipment, you need something made out of nylon that's not a first aid kit, I highly recommend them. Promo code BILL2. All right. Other phone. We're back. Back to business. From RT.com. That work environment is a privilege. Bless you, Tiago. I agree with you. But, you know, let's talk about that real quick. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. You know, one of the constant problems or challenges we have with Refuge is that there's not a lot of companies to look to for inspiration as how to conduct oneself, right? And so we are all people of deep faith, and we try and live our lives biblically to the best of our ability. Now, we're imperfect, we make mistakes, but we try, is my point. And there's not a lot of companies you can look at to emulate. And so, all right, the canvas is blank. So start painting. Make what you want to make. And this is what we're making because of the blessing of the Most High. And so we get to make it whatever we want it to look like. And this is what we want it to look like. And so this is what it looks like. And it's beautiful. It is a blessing. But we're not unique in that. Anybody can make their situation look like whatever they want it to look like. And so I guess let that be an inspiration to you. You know, I started this thing alone in my barn 5 years ago. And here we are now, 8,000 square feet, saving a little bit of money each month so we can build on the lot next door to put up another 20,000 square feet over there. And for why? Why grow? What's the point? To have an even larger impact on the kingdom, to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experience the abundance of His provision and blessing. So, I mean, we're up to 137 lives saved. 137. That's insane. What? Good. Let's 10x that. Let's keep going. Like, how many more? How many more? How many more? And it's not just tourniquets and first aid kits, right? Like, 5,000 people have been trained. I don't know how many people we baptized. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a lot, right? So your life can look however you want it to, and people overestimate what they can get done in a day, and they underestimate what they can get done in a year or a half a decade. So just make it be whatever you want it to be. And I would submit to you that whatever that is should be righteous. It should be a goal that motivates you to get out of bed in the morning. And scriptures are, oh yeah, I know Texas Sheep Lady, like thousands and thousands and thousands of copies of the scriptures. Now, did the U.S. help create COVID-19? Ex-CDC chief carpet bombs the official narrative from RT.com or YouTube. I am reading from RT.com. Dr. Robert Redfield suggests that the virus was engineered in a lab and that the U.S. was involved. Despite various debunkings, the Western establishment is still policing COVID-19 narratives nearly 5 years later, even when the latest bombshell suggests a U.S. national security cover-up. Former head of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is being accused of spreading fake news for making statements that fall outside the acceptable COVID-related dogma that the Western establishment deems etched into history as indisputable fact. Dr. Robert Redfield, the virologist who served as the CDC director during President Donald Trump's first term, said on a recent podcast that the COVID virus was, quote, intentionally engineered as part of a biodefense program, and that the U.S. role was substantial, end quote, citing research funded by the National Institutes of Health, the State Department, USAID, and the Defense Department. He specifically attributed the probable creation of some of the original viral lines to the researcher at the University of North Carolina. Now, listen, tinfoil time. Allegedly, this came out of University of North Carolina. Same area that just got absolutely demolished by Hurricane Helene. Coincidentally, that it just happened to do stuff that hurricanes don't do and go and stay there and spin for 26 hours and wipe the whole slate clean. And that those viral lines were then provided to the U.S. biodefense labs in Ukraine, the same place we've been fighting for over 1,000 days. Sure is interesting to me. I'm just saying, I don't have it all figured out. I don't know how all the dots connect, and I don't know if anybody probably will get it all figured out, because a lot of people jump to conclusions using OSINT, open source intelligence, when the OSINT is maybe 1/10 of 1% of the actual picture. I don't know. I don't know here. But damn is it interesting. Damn is it interesting that allegedly the director of the CDC said, no, this stuff came out of North Carolina. All right, we'll throw a hurricane on top of that. And it was provided to these bioweapons labs in Ukraine. Throw a war on top of that. Bro, yeah, just, and then you've got even Tulsi Gabbard, who's now the DNI, Director of National Intelligence, who has been talking about for years. There's 26 American bioweapons labs in Ukraine. How come nobody's talking about that? Well, I guess we are now. Super interesting. Boop, 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 boop. Quote, scientists agree that there's no evidence to suggest that COVID-19 originated in a lab in any country, end quote, Newsweek wrote in reporting on Redfield's remarks. Scientists agree, do they? Yeah, sure, scientists agree on this. Trust the science, Bear. No. During the podcast interview, Redfield also reframed China's responsibility in a way that would likely annoy the Western establishment. Quote, when you look at the accountability for China, their accountability is not in the lab work and in the creation of the virus. Their accountability is not following the international health regulations after they realized they had a problem, he said, seemingly implying that it was an American interest that spearheaded the research project. Oh, like Dr. Anthony Fauci and his homies over there? The article goes on and on. You can find more, you can find this article at rt.com, which is Russian propaganda, but that's where you can find it. And then lastly, we're going to look at this morning. Musk and Ramaswamy race to build a DOGE team for war with Washington. DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency.
It should be fixed.
Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy Lama are interviewing job candidates and seeking advice from experts in Washington and Silicon Valley, pushing a sweeping vision of the Department of Government Efficiency past the realm of memes and viral posts into potential real-world disruption. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know all about DOGE. Both lobbied for Russell Vought, Trump's pick to run the White House Budget Office, who is close with Ramaswamy. Again, I'm just going to come out and say it again. There's something about Ramaswamy that I just don't love. Call it intuition, call it whatever you want. Maybe I'm just racist. I don't know. I don't like the guy. I don't like his ties to Big Pharma. I don't like what his extended family's been into. He doesn't seem very trustworthy to me. He seems to be virtue signaling. Vivek looks like Beavis. Alan Collins, that is an Indian Beavis. That is the best description of Vivek I've ever heard. Thank you. You nailed it. Perfect. And that's the show. That's all we need to talk about now. We've got that one sorted out. Vivek is an Indian Beavis. I don't trust the guy. I just don't trust the guy. And to be clear, Elon, I'm no fan of sticking computers in people's brains either. Just because Elon is saying the right things right now, I don't. Now, I respect Elon for his business prowess. The man is brilliant. I just don't know where his convictions lie. And I also understand to a much lesser degree what it's like living your life in the public eye. And so you can always find something to disagree with somebody on. And Elon has been reported on for 2 decades. I respect his accomplishments from a business standpoint, but Neuralink, I am not a fan of. We need to not do that. So I just don't know, man. I just don't know about these 2 dudes. Now, I'm all for smaller government, all for it. I'm reminded of, if you've read the Minor Prophets, the Babylonians and then the Assyrians and then the Medo-Persians, right? All of them were appointed by the Creator to bring judgment upon the Father's people and the surrounding areas. They had a job to do. They weren't of the Most High, but they were used by the Most High. And there are lessons in that for us. Now, I am in no way elevating anybody, including the president in this current soon-to-be administration, to the level of a biblical character. But the principle remains. Just because somebody's not an ardent follower of the Creator doesn't mean that they can't be used by the Father. And I am not smart enough and experienced enough to figure out how that's going to manifest itself. Hopefully that makes sense. But I can understand the principle. So maybe Vivek Ramaswamy, Indian Beavis, and Elon Musk, the autistic African-American guy, can shrink the size of the federal government. I agree with that. I don't want wires in people's brains. I'm not cool with that. And I don't want Big Pharma being any more empowered than they already are. It makes me wonder, how is Vivek Ramaswamy supposed to work alongside RFK? I don't know. But if ever you were going to have an exit from a pharmaceutical, are you laughing at me, Lauren? Pharmaceutical company. Talk about insider baseball, right? Like, probably hanging out with RFK would give you a pretty good idea of how to maneuver in the days, weeks, months, years ahead. So, Aaron Johnson said, OSINT, like 90% BS. I agree, man. There's so much data, and a lot of it's not even data. It's opinion and conjecture based upon a snippet of the data, which probably is not true in the first place. And if it is true, it's only a portion of the truth. And so that's where, like, garbage in, garbage out. That's where things get dangerous. Just go, well, I saw it on the internet. See all kinds of shit on the internet. Doesn't mean it's good or true, or, you know what I mean? Speaking of, did you see, I don't know if you could say this word on the internet. There's a website that's wildly popular with certain people who engage in certain behaviors. P-Hub, Cornhub. You ever heard of Cornhub? They had to take down, and good for them. I hope they burn in hell, even though that's not a biblical concept. Thank you, Dante. Whatever. I hope that the Father just shreds these fools. They had to take down 91% of their website, the content on their website, because now I'm not a fan of AI, but if we're going to use AI, let's use it for this, because due to facial recognition software, there was a girl on there who occurred in 58 separate videos of basically being tortured on camera, who Cornhub verified as an 18-year-old consensual adult actress who is actually a 15-year-old that was being trafficked. and they found her, and they arrested a bunch of people. I'll say this: if you are the occasional consumer of said content, you need to understand the vast majority of the people who are filmed in said content, the vast majority are being filmed against their will. So you are participating in the trafficking of humans. Think about that next time you're sticking your hand in your pants, okay? And it's not me judging you. This is me just adding one more weight to the scale of justice in your brain, okay? So, anyway, yeah, Hindu Beavis and the autistic guy from Africa are gonna cut government spending. Cool, we'll see. We'll see. That's the show for the day, y'all. Listen, grindstoneministries.com if you want to come on deployment with us the next time we got to punch a hurricane or a tornado in the face. Come on with it, grindstoneministries.com. Recurring support there. If you want to do a one-time donation or a monthly donation, you're welcome to do that at grindstoneministries.com. If you're convicted. John McMillan, $20 super chat. Thank you.
One with a travel pack and one with a red bear.
If you want to support, I love you back, JC Fixer. If you have a conviction to support, you can do that at grindstoneministries.com. If you don't, that's okay. Super cool. You do you, homie. Same thing with calebhouse.org. If you're into counter trafficking, like making bad things happen to people that do bad things with children, not making Instagram posts about raped kids bad, then you can find us at calebhouse.org. Because we do rescue and restoration. Importantly, we put people back together again after the bad things have happened to them. And that's really, really, really important. So we can break that pattern of behavior, break those generational curses, because hurt people hurt people. And statistically, each offender is responsible for 81 victims, not 81 instances, 81 victims. So we have to attack this problem on both sides. We need to take the offenders and make sure they go away for a really, really long time, and maybe get some laws changed so we can just stuff them feet first into a wood chipper, okay? But then we also, all the people that they've hurt, we need to put them back together again so that they don't hurt other people, because it's patterns of behavior. So that this thing becomes not a stumbling block for them, but part of their witness and their testimony, so that they can help other people, not hurt other people, okay? So if you're into that, Caleb House, Caleb with a K.org. Both of these are nationally registered 501c3s. We've got the Refuge Ruckus coming up. That's in January, February, March 7th through 9th, 2025. It's a big 3-day event, Ruck March that we put together. Speakers, presenters, classes, Bible study, baptism, vendors, trainings. It's a whole thing. It's our biggest in-person event of the year. Great way to meet other people in the preparedness space as well, and also raise awareness and funds for Caleb House. So you can find that at refugeruckus.com. Oh, Covert Threads, the bear socks. Do I have bear socks on? I do. I don't know how to. If only I had a media team. Okay, look, bear socks. Can you guys see that? These things are there's limited availability of the bear socks. Find those at covertthreads.com, not .socks. And they are the rock infiltrator style of socks. Wool, very well padded, but they've also got synthetics in there, so they're not like sliding around all over your foot. They're great for rucking. They're great for outside activities. They're very warm, but they're also breathable, so your feet ain't sweating. They're just the best socks I've ever had. And when Covert Threads reached out to me and was like, yo man, you want to do a collab? We'll put a bear logo on some socks. I was like, heck yeah, let's party. And so they only have a handful of these suckers left. It is that time of year. If you're in the mood to acquire some banging socks, covertthreads.com. Look for the bear sock. My mother-in-law texted me the other day. She was like, oh my gosh, my feet aren't cold. For the first time in my whole life, my feet aren't cold. And she like sent me a picture of, she's wearing bear socks. It's like, I told you, Ma, I've been telling you, like, these things are amazing. So anyway, man, I don't know what else. Refugemedical.com, come get a first aid kit, do all the things. SOE, our friends at SOE, if you need nylon made gear, special operations equipment, we love them. Who else? What else? Patreon. Thank you, Patreon. You guys are awesome. Go check out Pastor Joe, Viking Preparedness on Patreon. That's it. That's it. Do the socials. Yeah. May the Father make his face to shine upon you. May he make you experience his peace, his shalom today. Whatever the world throws at you, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Fear nothing, but Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God. Do righteousness to the best of your ability. And when you just can't, when you're just breaking, cry out, ask Dad for help. And exactly, JC Fixer, be the light. The light shines into the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. You can't lose. Might feel like you can, but that's just the enemy lying to you. You can't lose. You already won. We already won. We're just doing end zone dances at this point. We already won. Praise y'all. I love you guys. I'll see you when I see you. It's Turkey Day this week. I don't know if you guys know that. You probably do. It's Turkey Day this week, so I don't know if we're gonna stick to our usual schedule or not, but I'll be around. I'll see y'all when I see you. Shalom.